Hello students. In today's class we are going to discuss about ethers and epoxides. In the previous classes we have completed alcohols and phenols, and in this class we are going to discuss about ethers and epoxides. See, we know that ethers, they are regarded as the dialkyl derivatives of water. Dialkyl derivatives of water, and moreover the general formula of ethers is ROR, that is two alkyls are attached to oxygen. These are ethers, that is, see here, ROR. These are ethers, that is, this is the general formula of ethers. That is, ethers, these are regarded as the dialkyl derivatives of water. That is, for example, this is HOH, water. See here, if in the place of hydrogens, that is replaced with alkyl group, that is two hydrogens of the water molecule, if they are replaced with alkyl groups, two alkyl groups, those are said to be ethers. That is, ethers are regarded as dialkyl derivatives of water. Or see here, these are also said to be monoalkyl derivatives of alcohols. See here, the general formula of alcohols is ROH. If the hydrogen of alcohols is substituted by alkyl group, then those are called as ethers. That means monoalkyl derivatives of alcohols are ethers. The general formula of ethers is ROR dash. This is the general formula of ethers. And see here, in this R and R dash are alkyl groups. If see here, when the two alkyl groups are same, then the ethers are called as simple ethers. Or when the two alkyl groups are different, that is, when R is different from this R dash, then they are called as mixed ethers. These ethers are classified into simple ethers and mixed ethers. Simple ethers means if the two alkyl groups attached to the oxygen are same, then they are called as simple ethers. And if the two alkyl groups attached to the oxygen are different, then they are said to be mixed ethers. And coming to acyclic ethers, see, ethers are again classified into cyclic and acyclic ethers. And coming to acyclic ethers, see, in this just now we have studied about this simple ethers. Simple ethers are those in which the two alkyl groups attached to oxygen are same. See here, in these two examples, see here in this first molecule, two methyl groups are attached to oxygen, those are said to be simple ether. Here in the second molecule, ethyl groups are attached to oxygen, that is diethyl ether, those are said to be simple ethers. And some examples for mixed ethers are, see, these are some examples for mixed ethers. In these, see here in the first example, to the oxygen, one side methyl group, another side ethyl group is attached. Hence this is an example for mixed ether. And here in this molecule, here to this ethyl molecule, ethyl group is attached, and this side propyl group is attached. Hence these are some examples for this mixed ethers. This is about ethers. Ethers, they have general formula ROR dash. And coming to the nomenclature, see here two systems, that is one is IUPAC system is there, and another type common names are there, that is common names are trivial system. See here, this is the first case, that is in the common or trivial system. In this the ethers are named according to the alkyl groups bonded to the oxygen atom. That means these ethers are named depending upon the alkyl groups attached to the oxygen atom. The two alkyl or aryl groups bonded to the functional group, that is oxygen, are written alphabetically followed by the word ether. For example, if two alkyl groups are generally attached to oxygen, those two alkyl groups, that means they should be written in the alphabetically order followed by the word ether. For example, see this molecule, this molecule, let us see this molecule. In this to the oxygen, two methyl groups are attached, that means similar groups. Hence in this case two methyl groups are there, that's why dimethyl group, dimethyl, and followed by the suffix is ether in common system. Hence the name of this compound is dimethyl ether. And coming to this molecule, see here, and to the oxygen two ethyl groups, similar groups are attached, two ethyl groups, hence the name is diethyl ether. The name is diethyl ether. See here, this is the common or trivial system. In this, ethers are named according to the alkyl groups bonded to the oxygen atom, and the two alkyl groups bonded to the functional group are written alphabetically followed by the word ether. For example, see here, this is the molecule. See in this first molecule, to the oxygen, that means methyl group is attached and ethyl group is attached. That means two different groups are attached. That means in this case we have to write that means in the alphabetical order. For example, ethyl and methyl, see here, ethyl comes first as E, that means E comes first than M, that is methyl group. Hence the name of this compound is, first we have to write ethyl, then followed by the next alkyl group, that is methyl, then we have to write just ether. Very simple to write. This is ethyl methyl ether. The name of this molecule is ethyl methyl ether. For example, see, if we see the next molecule, that is in this two alkyl groups are attached. See here, to the right side we have ethyl group, and to the left side, if you observe here, isopropyl group is attached to the oxygen. Isopropyl group is attached to the oxygen. Isopropyl group and ethyl group are attached. In this ethyl groups first, that means depending upon the alphabetical order. See here, hence the name of this molecule is, first we have to write ethyl, then the next group, that is isopropyl and ether. Hence the name is ethyl isopropyl ether. This is the name of this molecule. And next, see here some more examples. Here this is another example. In this, to the oxygen, one side this big group, that is tertiary butyl group is there, and another side we have methyl group. And in this methyl and butyl group, generally butyl group B comes first, hence the name is tertiary butyl methyl ether. See here, this comes first, that is tertiary butyl. Next this group methyl ether, tertiary butyl methyl ether. And next if you see this second molecule, this one, see here, to the oxygen similar groups are attached. Here this is phenyl group, this is another phenyl group, that is, these are aryl ethers. See here, two phenyl groups, hence diphenyl ether, diphenyl ether. See here, and two more examples are there. In this, if we see here, this is the molecule, the oxygen here ethyl group is there, and here phenyl group is there. Hence the name of this compound is, see, if you observe ethyl and phenyl, ethyl comes first, hence we have to write ethyl phenyl ether. This is the name. And next, coming to this ether molecule, see here, this is methyl group is there, and here phenyl group is there, hence the name is methyl phenyl ether. The name is methyl phenyl ether. This is the see here, I coming to a few aromatic ethers. They have some popular common names. For example, see here, this is a methyl phenyl ether. Actually, just we have studied now, this is methyl phenyl ether, but the common name is anisole. The common name is anisole. That means this is the common popular common name. That means in the place of methyl phenyl ether, generally anisole is used. And coming to this next molecule, that is ethyl phenyl ether. And see here, this is ethyl phenyl ether, but coming to the very popular name, that is phenetol. This is a very common name, and generally it is used in that means when we use this compound. And coming to the next system, that is IUPAC system. See, this is IUPAC system. In this IUPAC system, ethers, these are named as alkoxyalkanes. See here, in this ethers are named as alkoxyalkanes. See here, in this, that means we have to write alkoxyalkane. That means in this, in the both alkyl groups, the alkyl group which is having less number of carbon atoms, that should be written as alkoxy. And the larger alkyl group, it forms, that is alkane. That means in this, see here, this is the IUPAC name, alkoxyalkanes. In this, the alkoxy, this is formed by the alkyl group which is having less number of carbon atoms, while this alkanes, this is formed by the alkyl group which is having more number of carbon atoms. That is IUPAC name for this ether molecules is alkoxyalkanes. Let us see some examples. See here, this is one example in which, see here, to the oxygen we have again the two groups attached to oxygen are methyl group and ethyl group. And in this, see here, methyl group is having less number of carbon atoms when compared with ethyl group. Hence the name is, see here, actually the IUPAC, in the IUPAC system, that is the first one is alkoxy and next one is alkane. This is alkoxyalkane is the name. See here, when we observe, this is a small group, it forms alkoxy, and this is large group, it forms alkane. Hence this is methyl group, hence methoxyethane. Methoxyethane is the IUPAC name for this compound, and the common name for this compound is ethyl methyl ether. And for example, when we come to this second molecule, this one, see here, first this is the smallest alkyl group, hence the name of this, that means it forms alkoxy, This is methyl, hence methoxy. The remaining group is benzene group, hence the name of this IUPAC system is methoxybenzene. Methoxybenzene. And next, see here some more examples. Let us see. This is two phenyl groups attached to oxygen. Two phenyl group, hence the name is phenoxybenzene. Phenoxybenzene. That is alkoxyalkane. When benzene is in substitute, that means we have to write this name as phenoxybenzene. See here some more examples. This is the molecule. See here to this methyl group is attached and this group is attached, and the methoxy actually this ether is attached to the second position of this butane, hence the name is 2-methoxybutane. The name of this molecule is 2-methoxybutane is the name of this molecule. And here the next this molecule is, see here to the alkyl group ethyl group is attached and phenyl group is attached, hence the name of this molecule is ethoxybenzene. This is ethyl group, ethoxy, this is benzene, ethoxybenzene. And let us see some more examples. See here this is another example. See here to the ethyl group, here there is two functional groups are there. This side methyl group and to this side methyl group, and the two oxygens are attached to this ethyl group, hence the name of this molecule is 1,2-dimethoxyethane. 1,2-dimethoxyethane. Let us see some more compounds. See here some complicated. See here this is the first one, that is 1,1-dimethoxybutane. See here this is methoxy groups are attached at first position of butane, hence 1,1-dimethoxybutane. And coming to the name of this molecule, see here methyl group to the oxygen, here the butane at second position the oxygen is attached, hence the name is 2-ethoxybutane. 2-ethoxybutane is the name for that molecule. And coming to this molecule, see here the oxygen group, one side we have methyl and this oxygen is attached to the second carbon of the this 2-methyl propane, hence the name of this molecule is 2-methoxy, 2-methyl and propane, 2-methoxy, 2-methyl propane. And here this is one more example. See here if we see here, this is to this oxygen molecule, see here at this side isopropyl group is attached, at this side at oxygen is attached to the second position of the butane, hence this is the alkoxy, that is isopropoxy, at second position is attached, hence 2-isopropoxy butane is there. 2-isopropoxy butane is the name of this molecule. And here the last one, see here actually this is the oxygen, we have two same alkyl group is attached to two oxygen, that means on both sides, that is actually methoxy ethyl group is there, that is actually and to the ethyl group the oxygen is attached, at this carbon. This is second position, hence 2-methoxy ethyl group. This is 2-methoxy ethyl group, and here it is having in two numbers. As it is large group, we have to use bis 2-methoxy ethyl ether. And here the next molecule, this one side methyl group is attached, and another side isopropyl group, or the oxygen is attached to second position of the propane, hence the name is methoxypropane. So 2-methoxypropane, the name of this molecule is 2-methoxypropane. And coming to next, that one is epoxides. Epoxides, generally these come under cyclic ethers. Cyclic ethers have their oxygen, generally the oxygen is as part of ring, and moreover cyclic ethers are also, they are heterocyclic compounds. See here in that cyclic ethers, see here these epoxides are there, in which, see epoxides, these are the cyclic ethers in which this ethereal oxygen, the oxygen is a part of 3-membered ring. Those are called as epoxides. Epoxides are the really cyclic ethers having 3-membered ring. In epoxides, the numbering of alkyl chain is done to which the oxygen is linked. The epoxy is the functional group. See here, let us see, this is one epoxide. This is the simple epoxide, that is ethylene epoxide, ethylene oxide. We can say 1,2 epoxy ethane. This is the IUPAC name, and this is actually propylene oxide. This is the common name, and coming to IUPAC name, 1,2 epoxy propane. 1,2 epoxy propane. And next, coming to cyclic ethers, see here these are cyclic ethers. Cyclic ethers have their oxygen as a part of a ring. These cyclic ethers are heterocyclic compounds, and cyclic ethers are commonly that means the cyclic ethers of commonly encountered ring sizes, they have special names. For example, the first one, the cyclic ether of having 3 members, it is, the name of this molecule is oxyrane. While coming to the 4-membered cyclic ether is said to be oxetane. And see here the 5-membered ring, oxolane, and it is also known as tetrahydrofuran. And the last one is known as oxane. Of course, it is also known as tetrahydropyran. These are about cyclic ethers. And next, coming to this isomerism, see here we have studied about isomerism also in the previous classes. Isomerism is that means the existence of 2 or more molecules having same molecular formula but different properties, and the compounds are said to be isomers. And isomerism is mainly classified into 2 types, that is broad classification into 2 types: structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Of course, in structural isomerism, again it is classified into chain isomerism, positional isomerism, functional group isomerism, tautomerism, metamerism are there. And coming to these alcohols, they show chain isomerism, they show functional group isomerism, they show metamerism. See, first one is chain isomerism, means, see, due to the difference in the chain, these isomers arises. For example, if N-propyl group is attached or isopropyl group is attached to the oxygen. The type of compounds make chain isomers. And coming to functional group isomerism, ethers, they show functional group isomerism with alcohols. That is, alcohols and ethers, they show functional group isomerism. For example, dimethyl ether is there, that is methoxymethane is there. It shows functional group isomerism with ethanol. Sorry, this dimethyl ether shows functional group isomerism with ethyl alcohol. For example, this ethyl methyl ether is there, it shows functional group isomerism with propanol. This is about functional group isomerism, that is, ethers, they show functional group isomerism with alcohols. The next one is metamerism. Metamerism is the type of isomerism in which the difference is in the alkyl groups attached to a functional group. Ethers, they best show this metamerism. For example, see here, diethyl ether is there, which is having two ethyl groups attached to oxygen. Diethyl group, diethyl is there. Here this side ethyl, this side ethyl, that is diethyl group, is ethyl ether is there. If here we have methyl group and here we have propyl, CH2, CH2, and here CH3. This is methyl propyl ether. It shows metamerism with diethyl ether. That means the ether, they show chain isomerism, functional group isomerism, as well as metamerism. And coming to next, the preparations of ethers. The first one is Williamson's synthesis. In this method, sodium or generally potassium alkoxide or phenoxide, that means we can use sodium or potassium alkoxide or sodium or potassium phenoxides. When these are heated with alkyl halides, we get ethers. That is, for example, sodium alkoxide with alkyl halide, it gives ether. See here, this is Williamson's synthesis. In this, if you observe, this is an alkoxide, that is sodium alkoxide, this one. When it is reacted with alkyl halide, let us say this is R dash X, this is an alkyl halide. That is, when sodium alkoxide or potassium alkoxide, it is heated with alkyl halide, it forms ether. See here, it forms ROR. See here, this RO group, it forms bonding with this R dash, and this sodium X, it is removed as NaX, and this ROR, this ether group is attached. This is that is sodium salt of sodium alkoxide. It reacts with this alkyl halide and it forms ether molecule ROR dash, and this is sodium halide, and this is sodium NaX. With the removal of this sodium halides, it forms ether. This is known as Williamson synthesis. And if you see some other examples, see here, this is one more example in which see here, this is sodium ethoxide, this is methyl bromide, and with the elimination of this sodium bromide, see here, this is C2H5OCH3 is formed, that is ethyl methyl ether is formed. This is a mixed ether. That means this method is generally quite suitable for the preparation of mixed ethers. Of course, simple ethers are also formed, but this method is generally suitable for the formation of mixed ethers. And the next is, see here, this is sodium phenoxide. It reacts with this methyl bromide. With the elimination of sodium bromide, this methyl group is attached to the phenoxide, and here this molecule is formed that is commonly known as anisole. It is also a mixed ether. And see here, that means already we know that this method is that is Williamson's synthesis is quite suitable for the preparation of mixed ethers. Of course, simple ether is also prepared when the suitable reactant is taken. See here, this is sodium ethoxide when it is heated with ethyl bromide. That is, with the elimination of sodium bromide, we have, that means diethyl ether is formed, which is a simple ether. Okay, these are simple ethers and they are also known as symmetrical ethers. And coming to that means actually it is important to note that the selection of reactant is, or the right choice of reactants is essential for the preparation of unsymmetrical ethers. For this, that means for the selection of right choice of reactants, and moreover, for this generally alkoxides of secondary, tertiary alcohols and primary halides are used. That means for the preparation of unsymmetrical alkanes, generally in case of halides, generally we take primary halides, but coming to sodium alkoxides, generally we take the alkoxides of secondary and tertiary alcohols. For example, see here, that is for the preparation of ethyl tertiary butyl ether, we have to take the sodium, that is alkoxide of tertiary butyl alcohol, that is sodium tertiary butoxide we have to take, and ethyl bromide we should take. That means by the reaction of sodium tertiary butoxide with ethyl bromide, it gives ethyl tertiary butyl ether. That means the selection of reactants is essential for the preparation of unsymmetrical ethers. And coming to, see here, this is for example, see here, if we take this sodium ethoxide, actually what happens, see here, we have to take this tertiary butyl, that means RONA, that means R is tertiary butyl group. That means we have to take tertiary butyl, that means sodium tertiary butoxide we have to take, plus ethyl bromide we have to take, C2H5 Br we have to take. This results ethyl tertiary butyl ether. But if we take reversely, that means the halide of tertiary butyl group and the sodium, that is alkoxide of primary alkyl group, if we take that one, that means it results this isobutylene, it results isobutylene, not ethyl tertiary butyl ether. I think you have understood this. See here, that is for example, see here, that means we have to take this sodium tertiary butoxide and ethyl bromide. If we take like this, it forms this ethyl tertiary butyl ether. But if we take this one, see here, if we take this halide of this tertiary butyl bromide, and if we take sodium ethoxide, it leads to the formation of an alkene, not ethyl tertiary butyl ether. That means the selection of right choice of reactants is essential for the preparation of unsymmetrical ethers. In the same way, in the same way, it is essential to make the right selection of reactants for preparing alkyl aryl ethers. For example, if we want to prepare this anisole molecule, if we want to prepare anisole, that means sodium phenoxide, it should be treated with methyl chloride. Then with the elimination of sodium chloride, we get anisole molecule. While if we take this chlorobenzene and sodium methoxide, that reaction is not possible. Because chlorobenzene, it doesn't undergo such type of reactions. Hence, the right selection of reactants is also essential for the preparation of desired products. And next, coming to the limitations of Williamson's reaction. In this Williamson's reaction, only alkyl halides they can be used for the preparations of ethers. That means due to low reactivity, aryl halides cannot be employed for the preparations of ethers. See, for example, here this chlorobenzene, due to the low reactivity, it cannot undergo this Williamson synthesis. It means aryl halides, they cannot be employed for the preparation of ethers due to low reactivity. That is actually one limitation for this Williamson synthesis. And the second one is, see here, secondary and tertiary alkyl halides are generally not used for preparing ethers, because these alkyl halides, they show elimination reactions under the influence of strong nucleophiles. For preparing, for example, see here this type, this is, that means this secondary, for example, this is tertiary alkyl halide. Generally, in the presence of this strong nucleophiles, they undergo some elimination reactions to the formation of alkenes. That means secondary and tertiary alkyl halides, they generally not used for this preparing ethers, because they undergo some elimination reaction. So, for preparing such compounds, or for preparing tertiary alkyl ethers, we should take the alkoxide, that is the alkoxide of tertiary butyl, or that is the alkoxide of tertiary butyl alcohol or secondary alcohols should be taken, and the halide of primary halide should be taken for the preparation of ethers. If the halides of tertiary and secondary carbons, if taken, they undergo elimination reactions and they form some unsaturated compounds, that is the desired ether products are not formed. For such type of that means preparation of tertiary alkyl ethers, we should take the alkoxide of tertiary alcohol generally, and primary alkyl halides should be taken, and if they reacted, it leads to the formation of tertiary alkyl ethers. And moreover, see here, this is one more reaction. This alkyl halides on reaction with dry silver oxide, it leads ethers. For example, see here, this is alkyl halide, it reacts with dry silver oxide, it leads to the formation of this diethyl ether. That means if one single alkyl halide is used, that means it is used in general 2 moles, it leads to the formation of the symmetrical ethers. That means for the preparation of unsymmetrical ethers by this method, that is by treating with dry silver oxide, we have to take 2 different alkyl halides. If they are used, this method yields this unsymmetrical ethers. That is, if 2 different alkyl halides are used with reaction with silver oxide, it forms this unsymmetrical ethers. This is about the preparations of ethers, and in this class we have discussed about that means the types of ethers and the nomenclature, that is common nomenclature and IUPAC nomenclature of ethers. And moreover, coming to preparations, in this class we have studied about the Williamson synthesis of ethers and its limitations. Also we have discussed, and reaction with silver oxide, that means reaction of alkyl halides with silver oxides, also discussed in this class. And in the next class we are going to discuss one more preparation method, that is epoxides of alkenes, and then physical and chemical properties of ethers we are going to discuss in the next class. And with this, now today I conclude this session, and the remaining concepts that will be discussed in the next class. Thank you.